point I'm making is if you're speaking to a person who is oppressed in a room full of people who are not, it's not necessary to spend equal time speaking to the people who are okay as you are speaking to the person who oppressed just so they don't feel bad. Or let me put it another way: if I walk into a room and a man is choking, and I could go in there and spend all of my attention on this gentleman, but first I have to make sure I spend equal time with the people who are just standing around not choking. That doesn't make sense. Or even with a disease or whatever. So it's not that I believe that the black that I'm Afrocentric and black needs are paramount and more important than anything else. But you have to look at the situation that is most critical and tend to the needs of the most critical. I mean, come on. I mean, that's just simple reality. That's simple common sense. Come on, we used to watch MASH, right? In any MASH outfit, any kind of medical mobile unit, whether it was in Iraq or whether it's in Afghanistan or whether it was in Korea or Vietnam or whatever, if you have a room full of wounded people, you tend to the most serious wounded person first. And if there are people that are standing around that aren't even wounded, they can't have an attitude because you are not spending equal time with them as you are with the wounded, okay? So although it might seem like, my attitudes toward the needs of black people are paramount, it's simply that they're the ones who are suffering. And so my focus is on them at the moment. But any white folks that know me know that painting this picture of me being somehow Afrocentric or negative toward white people is not me, okay? Now if I'm speaking in terms of a conflict, of maybe that issue with the Confederate flags and people that are, or the individuals that are actually killing black folks, or, situations, and I'm talking about those white folks, but by the same token, I'm talking about black folks that are killing black folks as well. And I'm talking about white folks that are killing white folks. So it's not a racial issue for me. But it would not be constructive for me to ignore the racial issues that are against black folks. And I'm thinking that is basically the responsibility of white folks and black folks. And what I am disheartened with, when folks see injustice done to someone who is not like them, there is no empathy. Now if it's a dog that somebody beat and killed, oh, there's empathy. But if it's a man that somebody beat and killed, oh, well, he shouldn't have run. Come on now. And so that's what I take issue with. So what I identify is the inequity in empathy that folks have towards suffering, depending on who it is that's doing the suffering. See, for me, if I see a black man suffering, or a white man suffering, or a Mexican suffering, or an Asian suffering, or a Native American suffering, my heart aches. So it's not just when a black man suffers, it's suffering itself. So I have an empathy for Syrian refugees. I have an empathy for the Europeans that was suffering in that Bosnia, all that mess going on over there. I have an empathy, for Latinos that are trying to come up over the border because of the violence and the poverty in their own nations. I have an empathy for the sufferings of folks in Africa and the Middle East. I and have an empathy for the people of North Korea that are suffering under that regime. I mean, you hear folks when they're talking about North Korea, why don't we just go there and just bomb the whole place? But the people are suffering. There's no empathy in the hearts of so many Americans.